In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Your Excellency, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, Your Excellencies, the Prime Ministers, the ambassadors, the head of states, the distinguished attendees with all of your great roles, peace be upon all of you. At the beginning, allow me to pay tribute to France for the great organizing of this important summit and for the great support that France and the whole organizers for this since the beginning of 2018 till this moment with the emergence of the Sudanese revolution. This revolution that played the great symbol of in the humanitarian history, especially in our region, and particularly speaking, where the Sudanese people have declared great unprecedented brave in combating this dictatorial regime that have just using the raw slogans and have taken the freedom of the Sudanese people. And in December 2018, for more than 8 months, the launching of the revolution where the Sudanese people have been confronting all of the suppression phases from the direct torture and killing till we've got the massacre of the 9th July, where the incidents have been one of the worst incidents against human rights in the history of Sudan. And despite this bloody event, which have been targeting the peaceful approach from the signing of the agreement between the military bodies and the civilian people, those provisions that got the slogan of the immortal revolution, freedom, justice and freedom, to start a new phase, which is targeting executing the principles of the revolution as a brief phase for the democracy that can stand for long and can live for long term in this country that's been facing for quite a long time the corruption. And now, after just 2 years of the transitional phase, the transitional phase have been able to adapt some of the files, on top of which, by signing Juba peace agreement and by executing a number of economic reforms, also Sudanese have been able to get out of the isolation, which comes also with the fragile stance with some other files, especially those related to the protection of the civilians and the proliferation of killing in the corners of Sudan. And again, we still have the scene, which is very complicated, between one stance to another, between the past and the new, between the wise and the bad deeds, between light and darkness, between despair and hopes. And eventually, it's the spring of hopes, despite all of the suffer that the Sudanese people have been facing until this moment, especially with the economic collapse and all of this economic deterioration that have been adding lots of tens of billions of debt on the shoulders of the state. But again, we still have the hope that these great hopes that we will be able to, we wish that from all of you and all of our free people throughout the world to help us throughout all of the shapes of support and financing to make sure that it could be an actual reality that can enable and empower the Sudan states to overcome those crises and to be able to continue in the prosperous and fruitful future. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me from here to send my greetings to all of the people that are fighting very bravely and firmly for the democracy and peace, on top of which is the Palestinian people who are usually confronting the occupation forces till this moment to make sure that they will regain their land. And these people who have just lost more than 700 patriots who've been standing very bravely in front of those military aggressions that have been trying to take over and to threaten all of those stability, and also all of those UN democratic organizations throughout the whole world witnessing what's happening, to have a newborn democracy which has been taken off. And again, the least to mention that it is very fragile till this moment from all of the UN organizations and all of democratic organizations throughout the whole world, who are witnessing very directly the newborn of the democracy in the world, which is being taken off. Ladies and gentlemen, Sudan today had a real window of opportunity, a historical opportunity after a great revolution, to build long-standing democratic peace and long-standing state of law that can get all of its capabilities demonstrated, on top of which is the Sudanese human being and the capabilities of our youth and their infinite skills. So the actual spring of hope to our state is this actual human being, which is by their wise and efforts we can be able to achieve the impossible one more time. Thanks to France for this great endeavor that's been proposed that we will never forget, and also thanks to all of attendees from the different countries, brotherhood countries, and peace be upon all of you.